We have already produced several videos on basic skills that all cyclists should know. But what if you have already mastered those skills and they have become second nature to you? What is the next step? What can we learn and improve on to become a proficient cyclist? Well, in this video, I will show you how to do that. If you haven't already, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Eating on the bike. Now, this skill is definitely something you want to have, as we have to eat and drink on the bike, especially on those long rides. Have you ever had a trouble opening an energy bar? Either your hands were too cold or it was too windy and you couldn't open the wrapper. Well, here is a trick that will allow you to open the wrapper, which is good and simple and still allows you to eat your energy bar. This way, you won't be queuing up an hour later. All you have to do is take the energy bar out of your pocket, take one hand off the bar, use the bar to tap against the handlebar. It should force the bar through the wrapper. You can now eat it without fiddling, biting, or struggling. The bunny hop. The bunny hop is a skill that's always worth practicing, and it solidifies its position as an advanced skill worthy of being on the list. Now, the bunny hop can get you out of all sorts of trouble. If you get into a tight spot, the bunny will hop you out of it. If you see a pothole, the bunny will hop over it and you'll be back on your way, happy as can be. This is definitely a skill worth having in your arsenal. How do we do it and how do we practice? Well, it's best to practice on grass, so if you fall or tumble, we've all been there. And it's worth doing it on a soft landing. Or find a nice quiet road and bounce like Tigger. Loose surfaces. When we as cyclists go out on adventures, we encounter a whole host of different situations. Gravel, wet tarmac with loose stones, dusty roads, ice, you name it. We'll see it. What can we learn and practice to help us deal with loose surfaces? In this section, I will show you some tips that you can put into practice. Some important tips to keep in mind when riding on loose surfaces. Now, the first one is don't slam on your front brake. All that will happen is you will wash out your front wheel and you will most likely end up on the floor. What you want to try to do is adjust your front brake and use your back brake gently to slow down before you come to a stop. The same applies when turning. When riding in a bend, you don't slam on your front brake or brake too hard. Adjust your front and back brakes, slow down, and try to do this when you are not in the middle of a bend. Now, this is especially true when you are riding on gravel or ice. Make sure your bike stays as straight as possible. Don't make sudden changes in directions, as you will end up on the floor. Changing clothes. Trust me, this is a skill that will always be in your collection. Yes, being able to take off and put on your clothes. If the sky starts to rain, you need a shell in no time. Now, the first skill, you need to be able to take your hands off the railing like this. It's also nice if you end up winning the game so you can celebrate. Once you've done that, you'll want to practice taking your shell off, focusing on the road ahead, tightening your arms and zipping up. Right now, the best thing to do is to keep pedaling. This maintains forward momentum and keeps your front wheel nice and straight. The faster you go, the easier it is. Now, it's also worth remembering that wearing a vest is much easier than a long-sleeved shell jacket, and practice makes perfect. Find a day that is not too windy and continue practicing. Ride with a company. Another skill worth learning is riding with a companion. It starts with maintaining a proper distance. It is very important to maintain a proper distance from other riders in order to avoid collisions and falls. It is recommended to keep a distance of at least one car. Your best bet is to find a group or some friends that you trust, who you know are capable riders and who you then want to slowly approach. With a little practice, you'll be able to make the most of your aerodynamics and feel safe and relaxed while being comfortable and close to each other. Number 1. Follow the rules, obey the traffic rules and road signs, such as signal lights, markings and traffic signs. On public roads, cyclists should ride on the right side of the road and pay attention to traffic conditions. Number 2. Communication and coordination. Cyclists need to communicate and coordinate in order to avoid collisions and adjust riding speed and direction. Commonly used communication methods include verbal instructions, gestures, and eye contact. Number 3. Avoid sudden braking. If you need to brake, please try to avoid sudden braking so as not to cause collisions with the riders behind. It can be slowed down by gradually slowing down, honking the horn, or gesture reminders. Number 4. Pay attention to riding posture. When riding in a group, riders need to pay attention to their postures so as not to cause inconvenience or danger to other riders. It is recommended to maintain a stable riding posture and not to adjust posture or change lanes frequently. Number 5. Avoid distraction. When riding in groups, riders need to concentrate and not be distracted. Avoid looking at your phone, listening to music, or engaging in other distracting behaviors. Number 6. Respect other cyclists. When riding in a group, respect other cyclists and other road users. Respect the safety and rights of others and remain courteous and humble. Yes, it is very difficult here because I don't have any friends or groups to ride with. You want to make sure you keep practicing these skills because the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Someday you will master these skills like those mature riders. Well, just keep practicing. Thanks for your watching. If you have interests in cycling information and tips, please follow the Jelen U official.